This was unexpected. Not in Frankfurt. Not on a night that was meant to be just another grand national tour stop, and not from Kendrick. But it wasn't just a concert that took place in that arena. A spiritual breakdown occurred. No one was dancing. They were crying, cameras trembling, as Kendrick did something so genuine and intimate. People were practically falling on their knees, screaming and clutching each other. Not even his crew anticipated it. Then he turned off the music. Kendrick stood silently with red eyes while the crowd yelled a name that took everyone by surprise. There was no beat or microphone. Whitney, Whitney, Whitney. What did Kendrick disclose that brought tears to the eyes of mature men? Which special? Guest's appearance made all the difference. And why is it that people claim that this performance in Frankfurt was the best live performance of his career? This was no longer a tour. It served as therapy. You have to travel back a few weeks to comprehend what transpired in Frankfurt, because Kendrick wasn't merely on tour. The Grand National was bleeding on him. The tour was already in the news for selling out gigs, setting streaming records, and attracting celebrities like Rake and SSCA Clips. Fans began to see the fissures and the whispers before Frankfurt sources began leaking strange things. But beneath the blazing visuals and perfect sets, Kendrick was carrying something hard. According to tour's assistant, Kendrick was not showing up for sound checks. Matanding agrees to spend the next hours backstage by himself, without a phone, without a crew, and in complete quiet. Before the Berlin event, a backstage source told a hip-hop blog, he's going through it. You can see it in his face. The energy feels different, like he's building up to something big. At that point, he broke down mid-verse, halted the track, and covered his face while performing Mother I Sober. The audience mistook it for a performance element. He terminated the show early and left the stage without saying a word. Is he okay? Fans ask, as Twitter goes wild. There is a problem with Kendrick. It wasn't intended. He left without accomplishing anything. That never takes place. I hope all is okay with him. It was painful to witness. Some attributed it to fatigue. Others attributed it to familial problems. However, the truth was deeper, according to a Reddit thread that went viral. According to a close insider, shortly before Berlin, Kendrick received heartbreaking news. There was something serious about Whitney. Whitney, Kendrick's anchor, longtime spouse, and mother of his children. And he landed in Frankfurt only 3 days later. Frankfurt is a historic city. The venue was the sole reason the Gasto Kendrick's team chose Frankfurt. It was sacred in addition to being large. Early in the 20th century, the Festsaal Frankfurt had a troubled past. Repressive governments employed it. Later on, it was the scene of demonstrations, uprisings, and revolutionary speeches. There were echoes everywhere. Kendrick expressly asked for this location because he wanted to turn suffering into meaning. Before the show started, nobody understood what that meant. Before the show began, EVRY2 was alluded to in the setlist. Fans took notice of something strange. Humble DNA, and even Not Like Us, the song that made every other arena tremble, were not included in the printed set lists. The list resembled an album of sadness. Do you feel proud? The actual fans in the queue were perplexed. Mother? This isn't a night of hoopla. It's a funeral. Is this a concert of gospel music? Although they were unaware of it at the time, Kendrick was about to reveal his innermost thoughts. People in the industry flew out just for this. In music circles, a password had previously been circulated. Kendrick is in Frankfurt doing something. You'll wish to attend. Shaw was seen in one of the VIP boxes. Hours prior to the performance, Rock and AB Soul reportedly flew in. The biggest surprise was that there were rumors that Whitney Alford was actually in the building, not concealed or backstage. A hazy pic was shared by an unidentified photographer in the front row in all black. A woman who fit her description was depicted. Not talking to anyone, hands clasped, red eyes. Was that her? The atmosphere backstage was tight, but no one knew. Whatever happens tonight, we'll be talking about it forever. The intro, which is unlike anything in BF4, was tweeted and then removed at precisely 9:08 p.m. The room got dark as the lights went out. Just silence with no music or images. Then Kendrick was in the middle of the spotlight. Just hymno music, no dancers, no microphone. Head down, hoodie on. For 90 seconds, he remained motionless and silent. Then he slowly lifted his hand and spoke the word Whitney in a whisper. The Pride opening sequence began and the audience gasped. But live, unadulterated, stripped-down piano. Frankfurt was no longer a concert after that. It was an admission. You were let down by Whitney. Kendrick stated that. There on stage, microphone down, voice trembling, audience quiet, and for the next 6 minutes, no one screamed. Since Kendrick stopped rapping, no one moved. He was admitting, "I picked the microphone over you." Kendrick spoke as though he were at a pulpit while he was in the spotlight. Hey, his unadulterated voice reverberated through the fest air like a church, devoid of any music. "I never paused to cure your suffering, but I let the world hear mine. While you carried everything by yourself. I chased applause." People in the audience burst into tears at once. A woman passed out. She was still crying, so security had to come to her aid. A key claimed he nearly withdrew from the Frankfurt performance completely. Kendra went on, "I made albums about trauma, about fathers, about loss, and about chains, but I never wrote about the one thing I was most afraid of losing. You." Key stated that he was afraid Whitney wouldn't show up because he hadn't spoken to her in days. Up memories they never shared were projected onto the stage. And then the screen behind him flashed to life. It wasn't the tour visuals though. It wasn't a promotion. They were actual home videos. Rocking his infant to sleep, Kendrick. At family gatherings, Whitney sits by herself. He was holding his head while pacing the studio. These were no showpieces. They were genuine, unvarnished, and intimate. The audience remained silent. The first shift occurred when Kendrick remarked, "I told myself the art was for my people. But if I lose my family in the process, who am I? Who am I?" He attempted to leave the PTO. Then, right there on stage, Kendrick revealed that he attempted to cancel the Grand National Tour's entire Europe leg. "I was finished. I was no longer able to pretend. Instructed my team to issue a ticket reimbursement. I informed Live Nation that I would not be performing on another stage." The Berlin Breakdown, he claimed, was the most authentic thing he had ever performed on stage. People believed it to be a moment. No, I was the one who broke down. Guess who, nevertheless, persuaded him to continue? Not his team, not his label, not his daughter, Jay-Z. Suddenly, the voice of his daughter fills the spa. A young girl's voice reverberated across the arena. "Keep going, Daddy. We adore your songs." The audience went crazy when Mommy said, "You can fix it. You just have to try." Rows of people were crying. A man at the front actually knelt down and prayed, "I thought I was at a rap concert, but I ended up at Kendrick's," tweeted another fan. Supernatural intervention. He never had the opportunity to apologize. Then, Kendrick revealed an even more shocking revelation. According to him, the "Let Our Mother Ice Sober" was written for Whitney, not for the industry, his admirers, or even himself. "I concealed him in the music since I was unable to speak the words to her face to face." He then sang the song, but it wasn't just bars this time. It was a version with just strings. Raw vocals, violin, and pay no beat. Kendrick's voice broke. At the bridge, he needed to halt. was picked up for him by the audience. The last sentence was sung by thousands of voices. I pick myself. I apologize. However, this time, Kendrick returned the whisper. I choose us. Whitney gets to her feet, and the audience erupts in applause. Whitney Alfred got to her feet in the front row, tears streaming down her cheeks. Just standing, no words. The lens. Panned in. She was the one. Verified? Definitely. The audience burst out. It resembled a buzzer beater from a championship game. They were yelling. To get closer, several leaped over obstacles. She defended him when a fan yelled, "We love you, Whitney." Then Kendrick met her eyes and said, "That's real love." The microphone hardly picked up Ken's words, as fans had anticipated. The set ended with the unnerving statement, "You gave me my soul back." Kendrick ended the performance with a brand new piano-only song that has no title, lyrics, or leaked snippet. Additionally, Kendrick mumbles things like, "Will you catch my artwork or my first? Can I still be a man if I cry in front of the world? Tell my kids I didn't mean to disappear. I was learning how to come home." When the song ended, Kendrick didn't say thank you. Instead, he bowed, held his chest, and left. There were no fireworks or encores, just silence. By morning, Frankfurt wasn't just trending, it was taking over the internet in every language. The show that changed hip-hop. Kendrick Lamar cried on stage. Whitney stood up, and the world came to a halt. Timelines were filled with raw, shaky, and emotional clips from the concert. No auto-tune, no filters, just Kendrick crying in front of thousands. But then a new clip appeared, and this one wasn't supposed to. Unexpectedly, at around 2 a.m. Germany time, an anonymous stagehand posted a backstage photo on Reddit, and the internet went crazy. The reason for this was that the picture showed Kendrick hugging someone, with his eyes red and his face still wet from tears. J. Cole, yes, Jermaine Cole himself, was wearing a hoodie, his head down, and his hands clutching him like a brother returning from war. The caption read, "Cole flew in secretly, spent the entire time backstage. Remain silent. Simply wait." He was present when Kendrick and Cole reunited in Frankfurt, and within minutes, Twitter threads were exploding. "Bro, this is deeper than we initially believed. Dreamville XP Geelong is going to do something crazy." Nordectives wasted no time in retrieving flight records that verified a private jet from Raleigh had landed in Frankfurt the previous evening. Zooming in on background figures from the footage, one of whom did look like Cole in the shadows, and even bringing up old interviews in which Cole stated, "Me and Kendrick got something deeper than rap." Fans go into detective mode. I'll be there if he calls. Kendrick Lamar's Frankfurt show may have been his most vulnerable performance ever. According to the Rolling Stone, The Guardian, Lamar didn't perform. Instead, he purified. This moment redefined hip-hop. Variety, the rap mogul revealed his wounds, and the world wept with him. Even European outlets were applauding the moment. Der Spiegel, Germany Ehrlichkeit, Nicht, Schokanon, Irabahn. Frankfurt's honesty did not show Kendrick's tears conquering. Frankfurt celebrity reactions, Porin Shah reposted the piano performance with the caption, "I'll never be the same in person." Tyler, the creator, tweeted, "Man, that wasn't a show. That was church." Rihanna, who generally doesn't talk about rap drama in public, posted a black screen on Instagram with the simple message, "Protect Kendrick." The unreleased song receives a name and a PRMIC. By midday, Kendrick's team formally posted a sample from the last piano song to his website, titled Frankfurt. Even Beyoncé's fan page posted a video of her nodding emotionally during Mother I Sober from a box seat, indicating that she was there too. And let's not forget Drake, Silent, Not A Word, which fans interpreted as a major sign of respect or quiet panic. The internet went into a frenzy when they revealed that the show's new live EP album had a countdown timer that was about to expire in 7 days. Is this Kendrick's 444 moment? Backstage video. Kendrick and Whitney EMBRs, and just when the internet thought it couldn't get any more intimate. A second backstage clip leaked, showing the two of them embracing in a dimly lit hallway. There is no sound, just a moment. She is crying, he is whispering, and they hold each other for 36 seconds straight. No crew, no fans, no cameras in their faces, just two souls reunited. The clip ended with Kendrick pressing his forehead against hers, and fans went crazy. He answered, "I pick us." This is a love story, not a trip. And meant it. Their children will one day see this moment and comprehend everything. The industry is shaking now. Insiders are speculating that Kendrick is about to retire from traditional rap entirely. Some believe this is the start of his second coming, a more profound, intimate, spiritual version of himself. However, one thing is certain: Frankfurt changed everything. Whether you were a die-hard fan of Kendrick or just knew humble, everyone was talking and feeling it, because it wasn't just music anymore. This was real life on stage, and that stage left a lasting impression on hip-hop. Fans refer to it as the new blueprint. Hashtags went viral on all platforms. Hashtag Frankfurt Confession, hash Kendrick and Whitney, hash Icy, who's us. When Taco need tea, that wasn't rap. I'd never cried at a concert until last night. This man healed his relationship on stage. What artist do you know doing that? TikTok was inundated with videos of fans crying in front of Kendrick, whispering Whitney, and edits of Whitney standing up synchronized with real and feel. Even Gen Z, who rarely expresses emotion, called the moment the most genuine thing: hip hop has seen this decade. Executives, performers, and producers all paused their work to provide their opinions. Pharrell Williams wrote just 3 words on a blank black square: "Thank you, Kendrick." Timberland tweeted this: "Generation got their Marvin Gaye moment last night." Terrace Martin, who's worked closely with Kendrick since To Pimp a Butterfly, said, "On IG Live, we've done symphonies. We have participated in BLM rallies." However, the most outrageous thing Kendrick has ever done was last night. There is only suffering, love, and development, no playlist. Def Jam execs allegedly called an emergency meeting to reassess artists' storytelling strategies after seeing the overwhelming response. A leaked email read, "This is no longer simply about bars." Drake supporters and spectators trembled as the majority of the internet hailed Kendrick, while one section of the internet was uncomfortably silent. Kendrick just reset the emotional standard of hip-hop. Even they realized deep down that this was something more than a rap beef. So there was no shading or clever shots teasing. One fan wrote, "Kendrick did more in 20 minutes of silence than Drake has in 20 years of flexing. This is no longer about bars or victories. This has to do with recovery. Bro, we were watching Therapy live. Kendrick turned his concert into a Yanla. Fix my life, but it didn't land." Toxic celeb shows posted a meme captioned, "Read the room. This isn't your circus. Y'all mad because he did what your entire network can't. Show growth." Zeus Network trolls, but ITBAC Kazers in a tone-deaf move. Zeus Network is home to brawling. Celebrities even returned the applause with Tiana Taylor, saying, "Yeah, that was love. It was art. Legacy was that." The NAMI National Alliance on Mental Illness tweeted, "Kendrick demonstrated to the world that strength lies in honesty, not silence." Mental health organizations, Upload, and mental health advocates commended Kendrick for utilizing his platform to normalize emotional vulnerability, but Zeus removed the post within an hour. Let's start a fresh conversation about masculinity, trauma, and recovery. He spoke directly to the Black family dynamic, emotional neglect, and generational guilt, while holding himself accountable. As the 7-day clock on Kendrick's website ticked off, fan theories erupted about a new album, a Netflix doc, and a live EP from Frankfurt. Therapists started analyzing the performance on YouTube and podcasts. On a Discord server for Kendrick fans, an insider stated the crew is sharing a Dropbox file called Closure Sessions. That could be the project's title. The fans concur. Whatever it is, it's going to rock the world once more if it's anything like what we just witnessed in Frankfurt. The countdown reached 0 minutes, 0 seconds, and 0 hours. The fans reloaded. Meetings were delayed by music insiders. Kendrick's website went dark, and entire subreddits stopped sharing memes. No music video, song, or merchandise release. There was only a new phrase displayed on the screen. Ah, you didn't need this. It was for her. Boom. Then KL. Only one image. Loaded on the website. Letters to Whitney, a book cover, and a memoir. It was a stark picture. Not glam. Not glam.